Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Tosh Customs, and today we'll be looking at my custom Mezco Grifter. Real quick, this is made off of the Stealth Gomez Mezco figure. So this is not a Punisher figure. You can make it with the Punisher, but articulation is going to be a little bit different. So before we do anything else, we're going to dive into the accessories. So this is a commission figure, and the customer wanted both the classic version and a snow version, as well as some like little accessories and add-ons to make him look a little bit like how he did out of the Flashpoint animated movie. So just to knock out the Flashpoint, we have this little strap. Let me flip this around. This little strap vest that just goes over his I guess when you take the vest off, you put this on. For the sake of time, for the sake of the video, I want to try to get these all about 10 to 15 minutes so I can put them on Instagram TV. So these straps just go over the arms, and this just stretches across the chest. And so he's got two little ammo pouches there. And so it looks exactly like he does out of the Flashpoint animated. I call it like the Agent Grifter a little bit, so that's what it looks like. It's very simple. It's just some elastic bands, some ammo pouches. Cool. Setting that aside, we're also going to look at the snow version really quick. Got a white coat here. Nothing crazy about that, just a wired white coat that you just fit over the body. So for both coats, all you do is you just remove the hands, and then you just slide this over the arms, and then you pose it however you want. Pretty simple. So getting to the vest, both vests are or I guess one of them came from a Punisher figure, I believe, and then the other one came from the Stealth Gomez. The customer was kind enough to provide the parts to save me some time, which is nice. Probably also saved him some money since we didn't have to go buy from a different seller. But so this is the Punisher vest and or Stealth Gomez vest, whichever one you want it to be from. So all I did here was I removed the pistol holsters because Grifter has to have the two pistols on the sides, his dual holsters there. So he doesn't need a pistol on the side of the vest. So instead I took this extra pistol mag holster pouch piece from Crossbones, from the Crossbones vest. Slap that on there, and then everything else is standard. There's been some heavy repainting though. So to start off, the whole front is dry brushed in white. Gives it just a little bit of a rundown, but still white color, as you can see. So it's a little bit homemade, I guess. All the different, there we go, all the different pins, little bolts, and little clips, and all that kind of stuff. Clasps, I guess, maybe, are all done in a very bright silver. And then after I did all that, then I came through with a gloss black and just highlighted all the different section pieces so that all the vest details are really defined. Hit it with some silver on the buckle. And the sad part about these vests is that at least the ones I got were all just this plain black. So I guess there were two Stealth Gomez's maybe, but it was just this plain matte black. And so there's a lot of texturing and stuff on this suit, and so I was like, how do I bring that out, especially on the backside? Because if you're familiar with it, it's just flat black. So what I did was I got this paint called Black Gray. It's from Model Color. It's a Vallejo brand. I think that's how you say it. So I just dry brushed it with the gray, and so you still get those nice black cracks and creases in there. But then you get this softer gray color that really gives the fabric almost like that poofiness or that softness that you want to get out of it. So I think adding that detail really helps bring out the feel of the fabric. More silver detailing. Didn't have to do anything with the knife sheath. That just stays there. So yeah, so that's a look at that vest. So I only got sent a handful of hands. I got sent a grasping hand for the white version. This kind of like rifle underbarrel hand, I suppose. You can just grab onto the bottom of a rifle for support. So we also got sent two like expressive open hands. They're both painted the same. and then I got sent one left fist. So all of them are painted the same. The outside is dry brushed in white, and I left the inside of the fists all black so that we don't have to deal with any paint rub when we're switching out accessories. And I think it adds a nice like dual layer feel to the figure. So the real complicated, I think the most complex part, as you can tell, most of this is paint work, I would say. I mean, there's some part switching on the vest, and there's some part switching on the red vest too, and like making the knee pads and stuff. But to the most part, I would say, you know, it's on the, I don't know, maybe I would say for experienced customizers, it's on the simple side. There's some cool, fun stuff I did, but, you know, relatively speaking, we're not doing heavy sculpting. The heavy sculpting really came in the heads. So what I did for these, because the biggest issue was, you know, how do we make it look like fabric? You know, how do we make a head like this? You know, Grifter is known for his kind of like bandanas over his face, his bandana masks. So how do we make that look like fabric? How do we get some cool creases and wrinkles in? So I made this in Procreate. I sculpt everything in Procreate, and this is actually based off both heads. The figures are sized the same as the Diabolic Mezco figure. So we got 2 Diabolic heads. For the snow version, it was a little bit easier since the customer wanted black hair on it. We didn't have to do as much paint work necessarily. So the sides of the head, well, the whole top really, is I re-sculpted the slick back hair so we get a little bit more volume. Then I sculpted in that little hair that comes down. Little hair comes down. I think it looks very nice. I've found it easier to make finer detailed hair with an airbrush spray needle. It's a very, I guess you could use a sewing needle too, but it's just a very thin point. And so that lets you get in a lot of nice details in there. And so, so it's all sculpted down the back as well. An issue I actually came across very early on, or as I was painting it, was that we got black here, we got black here. So how do we make the difference? Because even though this is glossy to matte black, there's a difference, but it doesn't stand out. It looks like it's all one piece. So then what I did was dry brushed it in some more black gray. As far as sculpting the mask and getting the fabric look, I put sculpt over the face and then I stretched it. Procreate has a good stretch. And so I stretched it and kind of shook it around a little bit. And so that's how we got some of those folds. And then cut it off later and just kind of sharpened up those edges. So moving on to the main bit of the figure now. These 2 holsters come from the, I think it's DC Essentials. I think that's what they're called. It's just the new Red Hood. He's about 7 inches tall, so he stands a little, so the figure that these holsters come from stands taller than your Marvel Legends. Pretty big figure, but the pistols fit the hands perfectly. The holsters look nice. So those are also done in a black gray, actually. If you can tell, black gray is like my new favorite color. Done with elastic bands on the sides and done with elastic bands to connect to the belt so that he still has his full range of motion, and the holsters follow it, and it still looks like it's a real piece. So that's pretty cool. The pistols themselves, let me pull these out, didn't do much to it. It's all factory except that got a nice black dot there, so now it looks like we're seeing down the barrel, because it wouldn't be silver if you're looking down the gun of a barrel. So added that little detail. These knee pads are from the Crossbones, the MCU Crossbones Marvel Legends figure. So whenever I do these knee pads, a lot of people get confused. How do I get them off a figure? It's pretty simple. You just pop the knee joint out, slice it down the back, and then you just Dremel on the inside to make a concavity to fit the knee. So it looks like it belongs on the knee. It fits that curve. As you can see, it fits the curve very nicely. And so then the hard part of the knee is done in a gunmetal with some silver highlights. Then also we get some more black gray on the actual like softer fabric padding piece. The boots, repainted the boots a little. I just added some black gray in some of those spaces so that you get some more definition between the black and the gray, as you can see. So it's just fine details really. And then we got a zipper down the side, so I did that in bright silver. So you got a nice bright silver zipper down the sides of the boots. Coming to this vest, pretty much the same steps as the white one, except we did it in red. So I dry brushed it in red, picked out the silver bits, repainted all the lines in a gloss black. This pouch is different though from the other one, and that's because I just didn't have enough pouches. So he's got a different ammo pouch there. But, you know, same idea. Hit it with some more silver. Black gray on the back. You know, I would say relatively standard in a sense. Let's see. So that's most of the figure. Let's get to this head. I'm going to pop it off so that we can get a closer look at this. This head was really fun and really complicated. It's diabolic again, but man, we had to add some volume to this sculpt. This took a lot of time. When you're sculpting hair, especially when you want to add volume, just a tip about it, do it in multiple layers. This head is one layer that comes across. So I did the mask first, okay? I did the mask first. I sharpened it off later, but I sculpted the mask first because I had to know where my mask was in terms of everything else. Once I did the mask, then I knew where my hairline had to be. So then in terms of parts, we have one part that runs across here. And it's nice that I have the mask down because then I can have hair fall over it and it looks good. So we got that there. So this whole left section right here that runs back, that's one piece. This section back here and kind of like the underline section. So all this area and it runs all the way to the front. That's one layer. And then we have probably like a third and fourth layer up here. That's this upper part of the hair. And so then I also sculpted them to come down. When you want to make like all these little hair strands fall over, it's good to use like, once again, that airbrush needle or sewing needle, as well as an X-Acto knife lets you kind of like cut off all the little scraps. You get some nice clean lines there. And then I guess you could say we have a fifth layer back here to get this kind of like mullety hair. And it actually goes past where the head plugs in. So I actually put my thumb down there and I sculpted it so that it would come out a little bit. And looks like it's kind of waving off. And then paint-wise, it's a dark brown. And then I mixed my own dirty blonde paint and highlighted in that dirty blonde to give it some depth too. So yeah, that's how you do that. I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with how these heads turned out. Not pretty satisfied, very satisfied. I love how they look. Beyond that, you've seen the only other thing is the guns. Matte black, slap on some, dry brush some gunmetal, not slap, dry brush some gunmetal. Also did some silver over that. You can see some of that silver scratching and some wear there. I wanted to make these look really battle worn. Fun thing, I found a little bit extra detail to add, so all the grooves are done in a gloss black. Grooves in a gloss black there, but then we have a nice little red circle around the sight there. And then on the iron sight itself, we also got a little red dot. So that's fun. Moving on to the SMG. Same paint apps, you know, grooves, gloss black. Otherwise it's matte with some silver and gunmetal dry brushing. But we also got a little red dot there too. Look at that. So when you aim down the sights, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can you see? Yeah, you can kind of see the red there. So that's pretty fun. Little details, guys. It's the little details. Knife is untreated. Knife didn't need to be treated. It looks great on its own. Same thing with the sword. Actually, the sword was treated. Dry brushed it in some gunmetal. Dry brushed the blade in some gunmetal. Lets it stand out a little bit more. Also looks a little bit more worn. So that's about it. If you guys are wondering what it looks like with the jacket, with the jackets on, either the white or the green, or what he looks like with this agent straps, check out my post. If you can't find the post because you're watching this video and it's really old now, scroll through my highlights on Instagram. I post everything, every figure I make, I put it on the highlights so that you get some easy access links to my original post. So if you want to see them in all their dressed up glory, I guess, check out the highlights. My Instagram is Tosh, Tosh _customs. There's a link in the YouTube page also. So I think we're going to get it right under the mark so I can post it on IGTV. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're on IGTV, please follow me. I appreciate all the support I can get. So thank you very much and have a good day.